Yeah. I had a power sag there. The computer died. So anyway, I was wrong about one thing. It turns out that hyperthreading in fact does speed up this render by a considerable factor. It doesn't double the speed, but I'd say it speeds it up by at least a factor of 3/2. So I was fooled because when I thought it wasn't helping much, it was I was just looking at a world with the cert cube in it, and of course the cert cube doesn't actually do a lot of memory access, since it's just, you know, essentially one simple object with fractal structure. Probably all fits in cache. So okay, so what we're looking at here is nothing, because yes, how distracting. What we're looking at here is the same size as it was before. I mean, it's larger on the screen, but it's the same number of rays. I'm just using OpenGL to make the output window larger. I just expanded the window. It looks just as good, or a little better. So I just wanted to apologize for that. Yes, hyperthreading, thank you Intel, hyperthreading does work. As long as you've got a lot of threads, and of course we do have a lot of threads. 38, wait a sec. How did I have 38 milliseconds? So really what I want to see is if it's exposed a little better, because as I mentioned when I looked at the previous stream video on the television YouTube, it looked a little overexposy. So I've done, well, it isn't called gamma internally, but basically what I've done is decrease the gamma on this render. So this world has less repeating structure, which is not the way to make a good world, but so So here I am. Here I've drawn a whole bunch of gray cube lines, gray cubes as lines, or gray cubes voxel rasterized as lines. And you see that because it's repeating more, well, they're not all gray, they're actually sampled out of an image, and when they travel through this Harrison image, they force a subdivision of the voxel of the image cube, so that it becomes divided into all these little cubes, which it looks like white has been added to that rather than black, which is not what I want, probably. Interesting. 83, 47, 46. Nevertheless, here it is. This is the approach which is destined to take over from polygon rasterization based approaches to three-dimensional real-time graphics rendering, and is in fact preferable in the limit if it's fast enough, and it's rapidly becoming fast enough. It's difficult, of course. There were a lot of people who worked on raster graphics. Here I am, I'm basically the guru, the Carmack, and everybody in between of this approach. Nothing gets done if I don't do it. Of course, as soon as anybody else notices this, I'll be left behind and forgotten instantly. So in a real way, it's a luxury having this all to myself. Wow. It's so groovy, man. Again, I mean, is that fast enough? No, I'm getting 10 frames a second here. This is not fast enough. But it's a lot faster than it was, like, 12 years ago. On the machines I could afford then. So, while I'm streaming, I'll show you, while I'm streaming, I will demonstrate what it's like when I decide, oh well, it's tiresome seeing that speed. Let me free, and I'm going to recompile. And change everything to make it much faster. So let's see. I like the tile size, but I'm going to make it into, say, 9 by 6 instead of 12 by 9. So 9 by 6, 9 times 6 is 54. Right, obviously that's half. So it'll be twice the speed. And you see that it's smaller. I think what I'll do is I'll expand it to the same size. What you're seeing now is an OpenGL resizing it. Okay. I'll expand it to the same size. So we're seeing the same size output image, but it's shooting only half as many rays, so the resolution is not going to be as good. It's going to be blurrier. But we're getting almost 30 frames a second. And it's going to feel a lot different. Yeah, this just looks too muddy. This looks, it just doesn't have, just doesn't look good. It's fast, but you can see it's beautifully fast. Well, some of it doesn't look good. Some of it looks good. It's good when you're close enough. Of course, this is a Haskell 8 core running at 3.8 gig overclocked. So it's faster than what most people have, even if they're on a desktop. But seeing as nobody has any interest in running my stuff anyway, that's fine. Is it possible to do animation of continuously moving objects? Yes, absolutely. There's a number of ways of doing it. Obviously this is a blocks world, but after all, you can show continuous movement with pixels, so why not with voxels? There are different ways of doing it. Have I done this so far? No, well, not in the general case. I have other things I've been working on. But yes, is it possible to do animation? Yes, it is possible. Is it possible to do cellular automata running on, for instance, GPU, and then read back as voxels every frame? Yeah. Running physics? Sure, why not? Good idea. So basically, here we have, this is big enough, but the resolution is not good enough. But it's not a factor of 10 out. So this is like 30 frames a second, that's enough. That's a factor of 2 out. Say you want 60 frames a second, that's a factor of 2. Resolution, you want twice as many rays, it's a factor of 4. So, say 32 cores ought to do nicely. 32 cores, 64 threads. Ought to do nice, real nice. And I'll make improvements in the software. Although I think they're getting kind of thin on the ground at this point. I don't think there's anything as big as that memory copy thing I found a few weeks ago. This is fun though. So, once again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, I have to fix that. Why does it turn black inside? Doesn't make any sense at all. We don't want that. I gotta fix that. Oh, I had that problem before too. I fixed it. I don't remember how. Anyway, you know, I think it's fair to say that anybody who'd be naturally interested in the graphics, computer science side of this is scared off at this point by my politics. And people who are sympathetic with my politics and aesthetic and philosophical prejudices don't understand yet why this graphics, computer science work is important. But that's all going to change. Now, which of those things is going to change first, I don't know. I had this problem before. You know, where the screen goes black when I come into that, you know, the avatar. When I'm inside that XQ. I had that before. I know I did. And I solved it. Yeah, see the little mirror? There's a mirror border on the edge of his paw. That's actually a mirror. Just lovely. Now, it's hard to say which of those will get solved first, which will change first. Probably what will happen first is that someone in the, you know, Frog Twitter, Kantbot, Logo Daedalus, Kalish Jansen set will start understanding why my graphics work is important. I think that's likely. I mean, Kalish should be able to understand it. It's probably what's going to happen first.